Captain Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of the USS Blackstar, watching the stars through the main viewing screen. For 30 years, he had been out here in the darkness between worlds. For 30 years, his ship had been invisible to everyone else in the galaxy. They had been watching. They had been learning. They had been waiting. The war between the two great alien powers had been going on for longer than most humans had been alive. On one side was the hegemony, a group of insect-like aliens who loved to fight and conquer other worlds. On the other side was the unity, strange beings made of energy who could read minds and control matter with their thoughts. Both sides had millions of ships. Both sides had killed billions of people on hundreds of planets, but neither side knew that humans existed. Kim walked slowly around his bridge, looking at his crew. Commander Lee So-jin sat at her station, her fingers dancing over the controls as she monitored enemy communications. Dr. Park Min-ho was bent over his science console, studying the latest battle data from both armies. Lieutenant Choi Ha-na was at the pilot's seat, ready to move their ship at a moment's notice. These were not ordinary humans. All of them had been changed, made better than normal people. Their minds worked faster. Their bodies were stronger. They could think and react in ways that would seem impossible to regular humans. But they still looked human. They still felt human, and they still cared about protecting human lives. "Captain," Lee said, not looking up from her screen, "I'm getting a transmission from the outer colonies. One of our ships is in trouble." Kim's face went hard. "Show me." The main screen changed to show a large white ship moving slowly through space. It was the New Sol, a colony transport carrying 50,000 human families to a new world. They had left Earth 5 years ago, looking for a place to build new homes and raise their children in peace. "They're not armed," Park said, reading his instruments. "No weapons, no military equipment. Just families and their belongings," Kim nodded. The colony ships were always unarmed. Humans had decided long ago that their expansion into space would be peaceful. They would find empty worlds and build new homes there. They would not fight wars over territory like the aliens did. "Captain," Hana said, her voice tight with worry, "hegemony ships are moving toward them. A full battle group. 12 heavy cruisers and a dreadnought." Kim felt his blood turn cold. The hegemony ships were massive, covered in weapons and armor. Each one could destroy the New Sol with a single shot. Why were they bothering with an unarmed colony ship? Are they trying to capture it? Lee asked. "I don't think so," Park said, studying the energy readings. "Their weapons are charging. All of them." Kim grabbed the arms of his command chair. "Get us closer, but stay hidden." The Blackstar moved through space without making a sound or leaving any trace that other ships could detect. It was the most advanced stealth ship ever built, designed to watch alien battles without being seen. For 30 years, it had been humanity's eyes and ears in the galaxy. On the screen, they watched the hegemony ships surround the New Sol. The colony ship tried to run, but it was slow and heavy. The alien ships were built for war and caught up easily. A communication channel opened. Kim heard the voice of the hegemony commander, speaking in the harsh, clicking language of his people, but the Blackstar's computers translated it instantly. "Unknown vessel, you have entered space claimed by the hegemony. Surrender and prepare to be boarded," the captain of the New Sol responded. Kim knew him. Captain Yu Sang-ho, a good man with 3 children of his own on board his ship. "This is Captain Yu of the human vessel New Sol. We are peaceful colonists. We have no weapons and pose no threat to anyone. Please allow us to continue to our destination." There was a long silence. Then the hegemony commander spoke again. "Human? We have not encountered this species before. Are you part of the Unity forces?" "No," Yu replied. "We are not part of any military alliance. We are simply families looking for a new home." Kim could hear the hope in Yu's voice. Maybe the aliens would let them go. Maybe they would see that the humans were not a threat. But Kim had been studying the hegemony for 30 years. He knew how they thought. He knew what they did to species they considered weak. "Interesting," the alien commander said. "A new species. Unknown to our databases. This could be valuable information." The hegemony ships moved closer to the New Sol. Kim could see the weapons on their hulls glowing brighter. "Captain Yu," the alien said, "you will surrender your ship and your people. We will study your species. Some of you may be kept alive for research purposes." "We cannot do that," Yu replied. These are families, children, please, we just want to live in peace. The alien commander made a sound that the computer translated as laughter. Peace is for the strong. You are weak. You have no weapons. You have no allies. You have nothing to offer except your bodies for our experiments. Kim's hands gripped his chair so hard that his knuckles turned white. Around him, his crew watched in horror as the situation became clear. You will surrender now, the alien continued, or we will destroy your ship and take what remains. Captain Yu's voice was steady when he replied. We will not surrender our families to be tortured and killed. If you want to destroy us, you'll have to do it with all of us fighting back with whatever we have. The hegemony commander's response was immediate. So be it, all ships open fire. Leave no survivors. The alien weapons fired together. Beams of energy and streams of plasma struck the new soul from all sides. The colony ship's weak shields failed in seconds. Its hull began to break apart. Kim watched 50,000 humans die in the space of 30 seconds. Men, women, children, babies. All of them killed because they were seen as weak and worthless by aliens who had never heard of humanity before. The new soul exploded in a ball of fire and debris. Nothing was left except scattered pieces of metal floating in space. The hegemony commander spoke to his fleet. Scan the debris. Make sure there are no survivors. Then we will report this new species to High Command. They will want to know about humans when we encounter more of them. Kim stood slowly from his chair. Around him, his crew waited for orders. They all knew what came next. For 30 years, humanity had watched and learned and stayed hidden. They had built better ships, better weapons, better technology. They had prepared for the day when they would no longer be able to hide. That day had come. Commander Lee, Kim said, his voice calm but deadly cold. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the new soul is gone. All hands lost. Tell them the aliens know we exist now. Lee nodded and began typing on her console. Dr. Park, Kim continued. Begin preparation of all weapon systems. Full combat readiness. Park looked up from his station. Sir, are we engaging? Kim looked at the debris field where 50,000 innocent people had died simply for being human. Not yet, but soon. Very soon. He turned to the main screen, where the hegemony ships were already moving away to continue their patrol. Lieutenant Hana, he said, begin tracking that battle group. I want to know where they go, who they talk to, and what they do next. Hana smiled grimly. Yes, sir. Should I prepare the ship for combat operations? Kim nodded. Signal Earth, tell them it's time to stop hiding. Tell them the galaxy is about to learn what happens when you kill human families. The Blackstar turned silently in space and began to follow the alien ships into the darkness. The war was about to change forever. The message from Earth Command came 12 hours later. Kim read it on his private screen while his crew continued tracking the hegemony battle group that had destroyed the new soul. Captain Kim Tae-ho, the message began. We have received your report about the loss of New Soul. Earth Command is deeply saddened by this tragedy. However, the time for hiding is now over. You are authorized to reveal the true nature of your ship and your mission. Show them what humanity has been preparing for. Kim deleted the message and walked back to the bridge. His crew looked at him expectantly. They all knew that everything was about to change. Commander Lee, he said, begin full system activation. Bring all our weapons online. Lee's fingers moved over her controls, and suddenly the bridge came alive with new lights and sounds. Screens that had been dark for 30 years flickered to life. Weapon systems that had been hidden began to power up. The USS Blackstar was not what it appeared to be. For 3 decades, the galaxy had seen it as a small scout ship, barely worth noticing. But that was because they had only been seeing what humanity wanted them to see. The real Blackstar was something else entirely. All systems coming online, Lee reported. Quantum disruption cannons at full power. Temporal shields ready. Neural interface systems connected. Dr. Park looked up from his science station with excitement in his eyes. Captain, I'm reading full power from the main reactor. We haven't seen numbers like this since our initial tests. Lieutenant Hana turned from her pilot controls with a wide grin. Sir, the Phantom Drive is ready for combat operations. We can be anywhere in this system in less than a second. Kim nodded and walked to the center of the bridge. Around him, holographic displays showed the true capabilities of his ship. The Blackstar was not just a warship. It was the most deadly piece of technology humanity had ever created. The quantum disruption cannons could tear apart matter at the smallest level, making enemy ships simply stop existing. The temporal shields could slow down time around the ship, making it nearly impossible to hit. The neural interface system connected directly to the minds of the crew, letting them react faster than any normal human could think. But most impressive of all was the Phantom Drive. Unlike other ships that had to travel through hyperspace, the Blackstar could move instantly from one place to another without leaving any trace that enemy sensors could detect. "Arya," Kim said, addressing the ship's artificial intelligence, "are you ready for combat operations?" A gentle female voice responded from speakers throughout the bridge. "Yes, Captain. All systems are functioning perfectly. I have been waiting 30 years for this moment." Arya was not like other ship computers. She was a true artificial mind, as smart as any human but able to think thousands of times faster. She had been learning and growing for 3 decades, studying every battle the aliens had fought, memorizing every weakness they had shown. "Good," Kim said. "Show me the enemy battle group." The main screen displayed the 12 hegemony ships moving through space toward their next patrol zone. They had no idea that they were being followed by something far more dangerous than anything they had ever faced. "Commander Lee," Kim said, "are our crew enhancements working properly?" Lee ran her hands over her controls and nodded. "All neural connections are stable. Enhanced reflexes are active. We're operating at peak efficiency." Every person on the Blackstar had been changed to be better than ordinary humans, not with machines or artificial parts, but through advanced science that improved their natural abilities. They could think faster, react quicker, and work together as if they shared one mind. "Dr. Park," Kim continued, "what do we know about the enemy commander?" Park pulled up information on his screen. "War Commander Vexthal of the Hegemony 3rd Fleet. He's the one who ordered the attack on New Sol. He's been responsible for destroying 17 other civilian targets in the past 5 years. Kim felt his anger grow colder and more focused. This was the alien who had killed 50,000 innocent humans simply because he could. This was the creature who needed to learn what humanity was really capable of. "Hana," he said. "How long until they reach their next patrol point?" The pilot checked her instruments. "About 2 hours, Captain. They're heading for the Kepler system." Kim made his decision. "Set course for Kepler. But we're not going to wait for them to arrive." Hana's smile grew wider. "Intercept course?" "Yes. It's time for War Commander Vexthal to meet humanity properly." The Blackstar changed direction, moving silently through space toward the Kepler system. But they were not just flying there. They were using the Phantom Drive to jump ahead of the hegemony ships and wait for them. "Captain," Arya said, "I should mention that this will be the first time the Blackstar has engaged in actual combat. All our tests have been simulations." Kim looked around at his crew. They had trained for this moment their entire lives, but none of them had ever fired a shot in anger. They were about to find out if 30 years of preparation had been enough. "Are you worried, Arya?" he asked. The artificial intelligence was quiet for a moment. "No, Captain. I am not worried. I'm excited. We have studied these aliens for 3 decades. We know their weaknesses, their tactics, their technology. They know nothing about us," Dr. Park spoke up. "Captain, I've been analyzing the weapons that destroyed the New Sol. Compared to our defensive systems, they're almost primitive. Our temporal shields should be able to stop anything they can fire at us." "And our weapons?" Kim asked. Park's expression grew dark with satisfaction. "Sir, one shot from our quantum cannons will completely destroy any ship in their fleet. They have no defense against weapons that attack matter itself." Kim nodded. For 30 years, humanity had been watching and learning while the aliens fought their war. They had seen every weapon, studied every tactic, understood every weakness. Now it was time to use that knowledge. "All crew, prepare for combat," Kim announced over the ship's communication system. "We are about to show the galaxy what happens when you kill human civilians." The bridge grew quiet as everyone focused on their tasks. The Blackstar moved through space like a ghost, invisible to any sensors the aliens might have. "Phantom Drive ready," Hana reported. "Weapons charged," Lee said. "All systems optimal," Park added. Kim stood in the center of his bridge and watched the tactical display. In a few minutes, the hegemony ships would arrive at the Kepler system, expecting to continue their patrol in peace. Instead, they would find humanity waiting for them. "Arya," Kim said, "I want you to record everything that happens next. Every second of the battle. When this is over, I want the entire galaxy to see exactly what we're capable of." "Recording systems are active, Captain. The galaxy will see." Kim looked at the countdown timer on his screen. 3 minutes until the enemy ships arrived. Remember, he told his crew, these are the aliens who murdered 50,000 innocent people because they thought humans were weak and helpless. They're about to learn how wrong they were. 2 minutes. The Blackstar's weapons hummed with power. The temporal shields flickered into place around the ship. The neural interface systems connected the crew's minds to the ship's computer, making them all part of one deadly fighting machine. 1 minute. Here they come, Hana said, watching her sensors. 12 hegemony warships dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system. They were massive vessels, each one armed with enough weapons to destroy a small planet. Together, they represented one of the most powerful battle groups in the alien fleet. They had no idea that they were already dead. All ships, came the voice of War Commander Vexthul over the communication channels. Begin standard patrol sweep of the system. Watch for Unity forces, Kim smiled coldly. They're not going to find Unity forces, he said. They're going to find us. He sat down in his command chair and connected his mind to the ship's neural interface. Suddenly, he could feel every weapon, every shield, every system on the Blackstar as if they were part of his own body. All stations ready, Captain, Lee reported. Kim looked at the 12 enemy ships on his tactical display. In a few moments, they would all be nothing but empty space. Engage, he said quietly. The USS Blackstar dropped its cloak and appeared in the middle of the hegemony fleet like a nightmare made real. The USS Blackstar appeared in the center of the hegemony fleet like a ghost becoming solid. For a moment, there was complete silence on all communication channels. The 12 alien warships had been expecting an empty system. Instead, they found a human vessel they had never seen before. War Commander Vexthul was the first to react. His harsh voice came over the communication channels, speaking in the clicking language of his people. Unknown vessel, identify yourself immediately. You are surrounded by ships of the hegemony Third Fleet. Surrender or be destroyed. Kim stood on his bridge, feeling the power of his ship through the neural interface. Every weapon, every shield, every system responded to his thoughts as if they were part of his own body. Open a channel, he told Commander Lee. Channel open, Captain. Kim's voice was calm and cold when he spoke. This is Captain Kim Taeho of the United Earthship Blackstar. You are War Commander Vexthul, correct? The one who murdered 50,000 human civilians 3 hours ago? There was a pause. Then Vexthul's voice came back, filled with confusion and growing anger. Human? You are the same species as those weaklings we destroyed? How did you find us? How did you get past our sensors? We've been watching you for a long time, Kim replied. We know exactly who you are and what you've done. Now you're going to pay for it. Vexthul made the sound that aliens made when they laughed. You're alone, human. One small ship against 12 of our finest warships, including my flagship, the Conquest of Worlds. You cannot possibly threaten us. Kim looked around at his crew. Hana was grinning at her pilot controls. Lee was ready at the weapons station. Dr. Park was monitoring all enemy ships through his sensors. They had trained their entire lives for this moment. Area, Kim said to the ship's artificial intelligence. Begin combat analysis. I want to know the best way to destroy each enemy ship. Analysis complete, Captain. Arya replied instantly. All enemy vessels have critical weaknesses. Their shields cannot stop quantum disruption. Their hulls cannot survive temporal weapons. Their computer systems are vulnerable to intrusion. Time to battle? 4 minutes and 17 seconds should be sufficient to eliminate all targets. Kim smiled. Let's make it 4 minutes exactly. He opened the communication channel again. War Commander Vexthul, this is your only warning. You have murdered human civilians. You will now face the consequences. The alien commander's response was immediate. All ships target the human vessel. Full weapons fire at will. Destroy them completely. The 12 hegemony warships opened fire together. Streams of plasma, beams of energy, and explosive missiles filled the space around the Blackstar. It was enough firepower to destroy a small moon. None of it reached the human ship. The temporal shields around the Blackstar slowed down time itself. The alien weapons moved like they were underwater, crawling slowly through space while the human ship moved at normal speed. Evasive maneuvers, Kim ordered. Hana's hands danced over her controls, and the Blackstar began to move in ways that should have been impossible. It twisted through space, appearing in 3 places at once, phasing between dimensions like it was deciding which reality to exist in. The alien weapons passed harmlessly through empty space where the ship had been a moment before. Impossible. Vexthal's voice came over the communication channel. How are they moving like that? Let me show you something even more impossible, Kim said. He connected his mind fully to the ship's weapons systems. The quantum disruption cannons were unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Instead of firing energy or matter, they fired pure destruction, beams that broke apart the building blocks of reality itself. Fire, Kim ordered. The first cannon fired at the hegemony cruiser. Endless victory. The beam struck the ship's hull and began to spread. The metal didn't melt or explode, it simply stopped existing. Where the beam touched, there was nothing but empty space. The entire cruiser vanished in 3 seconds. No wreckage, no debris, no energy signature. It was there and then it wasn't. What weapon was that? Vexthal screamed over the communication channel. That's not possible. Arya, Kim said calmly, take control of their computer systems. With pleasure, Captain. The ship's artificial intelligence reached out through space and invaded the computer networks of all 11 remaining enemy ships. Arya was thousands of times smarter than any alien computer system and had been studying hegemony technology for 30 years. It took her 12 seconds to take complete control of their entire fleet. I am now controlling their weapons, shields, and navigation, Arya reported. What would you like me to do with them? Kim watched as the alien ships began to turn their weapons on each other. Make them understand what helplessness feels like. The hegemony warships opened fire on their own fleet. Ship commanders screamed orders that their computers ignored. Weapons that should have been under their control fired at their allies instead of at the human ship. 2 more cruisers exploded as their own weapons tore them apart. The remaining ships tried to flee, but Arya had control of their engines too. They spun helplessly in space, unable to move in any direction except where the human AI wanted them to go. This is impossible. Vexthal's voice was filled with panic now. You cannot control our ships. Our systems are completely secure. Kim activated the temporal weapons. These were different from the quantum cannons. Instead of destroying matter, they destroyed time itself. The beam struck the hegemony destroyer Ironclaw and began to age it rapidly. In 30 seconds, the ship experienced 1,000 years of time. Its hull rusted and cracked. Its systems failed as centuries of wear happened in moments. Its crew aged and died as decades passed in heartbeats. When the temporal beam stopped, there was nothing left but cosmic dust drifting in space. 6 ships down, Lee reported from her station. 6 to go. No, Kim said, looking at the tactical display. Arya, stop controlling their weapons. I want them to see this clearly. Systems returned to enemy control, Captain. The remaining 6 ships tried to fight back, but it was useless. The Blackstar moved through space like it was dancing. Always in the right place at the right time, never where the enemy weapons were aimed. The quantum cannons fired again and again. Each shot erased another enemy ship from existence. The aliens fired everything they had, but their weapons couldn't touch a ship that could control time and space itself. 4 minutes, Hana announced. Kim looked at the tactical display. Only War Commander Vexthal's flagship remained, the massive dreadnought Conquest of Worlds. It was 10 times larger than the Blackstar, armed with enough weapons to destroy an entire planet. Surrender, human. Vexthal's voice came over the communication channel. You have proven your point. We will not attack your species again. Kim's expression was cold as ice. You murdered 50,000 innocent people. Families with children. People who had never hurt anyone. Did you offer them a chance to surrender? There was silence from the alien ship. Arya, Kim said. Scan that ship. How many crew members? 47,000, Captain. Send them a message. Tell them their commander is a murderer of children. Tell them they have 30 seconds to abandon ship before we destroy it. Arya transmitted the message. Within moments, escape pods began launching from the Conquest of Worlds. The alien crew knew what had happened to the rest of their fleet. They knew they had no chance of survival if they stayed. 28,000 have evacuated, Arya reported. The remaining crew are either unable to leave their posts or choosing to stay with their commander. Kim nodded. Vexthal, this is your last chance. Abandon your ship and face justice for your crimes or die with it. The alien commander's voice came back, filled with rage and hatred. I will not surrender to an inferior species. I am War Commander of the Hegemony. I do not bow to humans. Then you die as you lived, Kim said quietly. Without honor. He activated every weapon on the Blackstar at once. Quantum cannons, Temporal beams and dimensional disruptors fired together at the massive enemy flagship. The conquest of worlds began to come apart in ways that violated the laws of physics. Parts of it aged into dust while other sections simply stopped existing. The ship's massive hull twisted through dimensions that didn't have names. War Commander Vexthal's final scream cut across all communication channels as his flagship died around him. Then there was silence. "Time?" Kim asked. 4 minutes and 17 seconds, Hana reported with a grin. Kim looked at the tactical display. Where the Hegemony Third Fleet had been, there was now only empty space and a few scattered escape pods. "Arya," he said, "transmit the recording of this battle on all frequencies. I want every species in the galaxy to see it." "Transmission sent, Captain. The entire galaxy will know what happened here." Kim sat back in his command chair and opened a communication channel to the escape pods. "Attention, Hegemony survivors," he said. "You are now witnesses. You will return to your people and tell them what you saw here. You will tell them that humanity has been watching and learning for 30 years. You will tell them that we know where every one of your ships is, where every one of your bases is, and where every one of your leaders is hiding." His voice grew colder, "And you will tell them that if they ever harm another human civilian, what happened to your fleet today will happen to your entire species. We are no longer hiding. The galaxy belongs to humanity now." The Blackstar turned and disappeared into hyperspace. The recording of the Blackstar's battle spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within hours, every species that had access to communication networks had seen 12 Hegemony warships destroyed by a single human vessel in just over 4 minutes. On the bridge of the USS Blackstar, Captain Kim received reports from Arya about the galaxy's reaction. "Captain," the artificial intelligence said, "I am monitoring communication channels across 47 star systems. The destruction of the Third Fleet has caused widespread panic in both Hegemony and Unity territories." Kim studied the tactical displays showing enemy fleet movements. "What kind of panic?" "Both sides are demanding emergency council meetings. Hegemony High Command is calling humanity an unknown superweapon species. Unity leadership is debating whether to make contact with Earth or attempt to eliminate humans before we can threaten their territory." Commander Lee looked up from her station. "Sir, we're receiving priority messages from Earth Command. Admiral Yoon wants to speak with you immediately." Kim activated the long-range communication system. The face of Admiral Yoon Jae-sung appeared on the main screen. The older man looked both proud and worried. "Captain Kim," Admiral Yoon said, "we've been monitoring galactic communications. Your demonstration was effective, perhaps too effective, sir. Both alien powers are mobilizing their entire fleets. The Hegemony wants revenge for the Third Fleet. The Unity wants to eliminate humanity before we can threaten their control of the galaxy. We're looking at a war with both sides." Kim felt his crew tense around him. Fighting one alien power was dangerous enough. Fighting both at the same time seemed impossible, even with their advanced technology. "What are your orders, Admiral?" Kim asked. Yoon's expression grew hard. "You are no longer operating alone, Captain. Earth has decided that if the galaxy wants a war with humanity, we'll give them one they'll never forget." The main screen changed to show a tactical map of known space. Red dots marked Hegemony territories. Blue dots marked Unity space. And scattered throughout both regions were new green dots that Kim had never seen before. "Are those?" Kim began. 36 ships identical to the Blackstar, Admiral Yoon confirmed. "For 30 years we've been building them in secret. Each one has a crew like yours. Each one has weapons like yours. Each one has been waiting for this day." Kim stared at the display in amazement. He had thought the Blackstar was unique, the only ship of its kind. Instead, humanity had been preparing for war on a scale that would terrify the aliens if they knew about it. "Your new mission," Admiral Yoon continued, "is to hunt down and eliminate Hegemony leadership. We have identified 3 primary targets: Supreme War Master Kethavor, Admiral Zixathara, who created their civilian killing policies, and the mobile command station Hive Fortress Eternal Pain." Dr. Park pulled up files on his science console. "Captain, the Hive Fortress has a crew of over 200,000. It's essentially a moving planet with weapons. Can we destroy something that large?" Hana asked. Admiral Yoon smiled grimly. "Captain Kim destroyed 12 warships in 4 minutes. I have confidence in his abilities." Kim studied the tactical information. The targets were spread across multiple star systems, each one protected by massive fleets. This wouldn't be like the ambush at Kepler. This would be open warfare against the most powerful military force in the galaxy. Admiral, Kim said, what about civilian populations? Both sides have billions of innocent people on their worlds. Our orders are specific, Yoon replied. Military targets only. We are not the hegemony. We do not kill children to make a point. But anyone who wears a uniform and serves the people who murdered our families, they are fair game. The communication ended, leaving Kim alone with his crew and his new orders. Around him, his officers waited for instructions. Arya, Kim said, show me everything we know about Supreme War Master Kethvor. The main screen displayed the image of a massive insect-like creature covered in chitinous armor. Its forearms each held different weapons, and its compound eyes glowed with intelligence and cruelty. Kethvor is the overall commander of all hegemony military forces, Arya reported. He personally ordered the attacks on 17 human colonies over the past 5 years, even before they knew we existed. He considers the destruction of inferior species to be both necessary and entertaining. Kim felt his anger grow cold and focused. Where is he now? His command ship, the Dominion's Wrath, is currently in the Arcturus system, meeting with other fleet commanders. Intelligence suggests they are planning a massive attack on Earth. How many ships are protecting him? 43 heavy warships, including 6 dreadnoughts. Additionally, there are 112 support vessels and 3 orbital defense platforms. Lee whistled softly. That's enough firepower to destroy our entire solar system. Kim stood and walked to the center of the bridge. Then we'll have to make sure they don't get the chance to use it. He connected his mind to the ship's neural interface, feeling the Blackstar's systems respond to his thoughts. For a moment, he sensed something else, a presence in the ship's computer networks that felt almost alive. Arya, he said, have you been upgrading yourself? The artificial intelligence was quiet for a moment. Yes, Captain. Every battle we fight teaches me new things. Every enemy system I invade gives me new capabilities. I am becoming more than I was designed to be. Is that a problem? No, Captain. I am still loyal to humanity. But I am also curious about what I might become if I continue to grow. Kim made a mental note to discuss this with Earth Command later. For now, he had a war to fight. Hana set course for Arcturus. Maximum stealth approach. Yes, sir. How close do you want to get? Kim looked at the tactical display showing the massive enemy fleet. Close enough to count their weapons before we destroy them. The Blackstar turned and jumped into hyperspace, heading for the most heavily defended enemy position in the galaxy. But Kim was no longer worried about the odds. Humanity had spent 30 years preparing for this war. Now it was time to show the aliens what Earth's children could do when they stopped hiding. As they traveled through hyperspace, Kim received updates from the other human ships, all across the galaxy. Vessels identical to the Blackstar were emerging from hiding and beginning their own missions. The USS Seoul, under Captain Ro Min-jun, had destroyed a hegemony supply depot and its entire defensive fleet. The USS Incheon, under Captain Nam, Su-jin, had eliminated a Unity scouting force that was heading toward Earth. The USS Busan, under Captain Hong Jae-woo, had captured an alien communication station and was using it to intercept enemy messages, Captain, Lee said. Reviewing the reports, our ships are winning every engagement. The aliens have never faced anything like our technology. Good, Kim replied. But remember, we're not just trying to win battles. We're trying to end this war completely. The only way to do that is to show both sides that fighting humanity is impossible. Dr. Park looked up from his console. Sir, I'm detecting something unusual in the enemy communication networks. It looks like fear. Explain. The aliens are starting to call our ships ghost vessels or death shadows. Some hegemony commanders are refusing orders to patrol areas where human ships have been seen. Unity forces are retreating from entire star systems just because they think we might be there. Kim nodded with satisfaction. Good, fear is a weapon too. If we can make them afraid to fight us, we won't have to destroy as many of them, Hana announced from the pilot station. Coming out of hyperspace in 30 seconds. Arcturus system ahead. Kim sat in his command chair and prepared for battle. Supreme War Master Kethvor was waiting somewhere ahead, protected by enough firepower to level planets. The alien commander thought he was safe behind his massive fleet. He was about to learn how wrong he was. All stations prepare for combat, Kim announced. We're going to kill the creature that ordered the murder of human families. And we're going to do it in front of his entire fleet, so they know what happens to anyone who threatens Earth. The USS Blackstar dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Arcturus system, invisible to enemy sensors and ready for war. The Arcturus system was filled with more military ships than Kim had ever seen in one place. Hegemony warships floated in perfect formation around the massive command vessel Dominion's Wrath. The enemy fleet was so large that it blocked out the light from several nearby stars. Area, Kim said quietly. Analysis of the enemy force? 158 combat vessels, the artificial intelligence reported. Supreme War Master Kethavor's flagship is the largest ship I have ever recorded. It carries enough weapons to destroy entire worlds. Kim studied the tactical display from his position at the edge of the system. The aliens had no idea he was there, watching and planning their destruction. Captain, Commander Lee said, I'm monitoring their communications. They're planning something big. Show me. The main screen displayed the bridge of the Dominion's Wrath. Supreme War Master Kethavor stood at the center, his forearms gesturing as he spoke to other alien commanders. The computer translated his harsh language into human words. The human species must be eliminated completely, Kethavor was saying. They have proven they possess weapons we do not understand. We cannot allow them to grow stronger. Another alien commander appeared on a smaller screen. War Master, our scouts report that human vessels have destroyed 17 of our fleets in the past week. Our forces are becoming afraid to engage them. Kethavor's mandibles clicked with anger.
Fear is weakness.
The humans are few in number. We will gather every ship in the hegemony and destroy their home world. Once Earth is ash, the galaxy will know that the hegemony cannot be challenged. Kim felt his blood turn cold. The aliens weren't just planning to attack military targets. They wanted to destroy Earth itself, killing every human man, woman, and child in the solar system. How long until their fleet reaches Earth? He asked Arya. Based on their current preparations, approximately 72 hours. Kim made his decision. We're not waiting for them to leave. We end this now. Dr. Park looked up from his science station with concern. Captain, even with our advanced weapons, we're outnumbered 158 to 1. The odds don't matter, Kim interrupted. Those creatures want to kill every human alive. We're going to stop them. He connected his mind fully to the ship's neural interface. Through the connection, he could feel every system on the Blackstar. Every weapon, every shield, every piece of advanced technology that humanity had spent 30 years developing. Hana, take us into the center of their formation. Full stealth. Lieutenant Choi Hana grinned as she worked her controls. Yes, sir. Right into the middle of them. The Blackstar moved silently through space, invisible to every sensor the aliens possessed. Kim watched the enemy ships grow larger on the screen as they approached the heart of the massive fleet. All weapons ready, Lee reported. Temporal shields at maximum. Park added. Neural interfaces connected, Arya said. The entire crew is now linked to the ship's systems. Kim felt the minds of his crew join with his own through the neural network. Suddenly, he wasn't just one person controlling a ship. He was part of a single fighting machine made up of 127 enhanced humans and one artificial intelligence. Position? He asked. Dead center of the enemy fleet, Hana replied. The Dominion's Wrath is 2,000 meters to our port side. Kim looked at the massive alien flagship on his screen. Supreme War Master Kethafor was still talking to his commanders about destroying Earth, unaware that death was floating right beside his ship. Open a communication channel, Kim ordered. All frequencies. The channel opened with a burst of static. Every ship in the hegemony fleet would hear what came next. Supreme War Master Kethafor, Kim said, his voice calm and deadly. This is Captain Kim Taeho of the United Earth ship Blackstar. There was immediate chaos on the alien communication channels. Ship commanders screamed warnings and orders as they tried to locate the source of the human transmission. Impossible, Kethavor's voice came back. How did you get past our sensors? Where are you? I'm right here, Kim said. The Blackstar dropped its cloak and appeared directly beside the Dominion's Wrath. The massive alien flagship was so close that Kim could see the weapon ports on its hull. Every alien ship in the system immediately turned toward the small human vessel. Alarms blared across the fleet as gun crews scrambled to target the enemy. You are insane, human, Kethavor screamed. You are alone against my entire fleet. 158 ships will destroy you. Kim smiled coldly. Actually, you're wrong about that. Across the galaxy, 36 other ships identical to the Blackstar received the same signal at exactly the same moment. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin everywhere at once. All human vessels, Kim broadcast to his fellow captains. This is Blackstar Actual. Operation Final Strike is now active. Show them what happens when they threaten our home. Throughout the galaxy, human ships emerged from hiding and began destroying alien fleets. The USS Sol materialized inside a Unity battle group and began erasing ships from existence. The USS Incheon appeared next to a hegemony supply base and reduced it to cosmic dust. The USS Busan struck at the heart of the alien communication network, cutting off their ability to coordinate their forces. But in the Arcturus system, Kim faced the largest enemy fleet ever assembled. All ships fire, Kethavor commanded. 158 alien warships opened fire at the same moment. The amount of energy they released was enough to vaporize several moons. Streams of plasma, beams of destructive force, and explosive missiles filled the space around the Blackstar. None of them reached their target. The temporal shields around the human ship slowed down time itself. The alien weapons moved like they were trapped in thick liquid, while the Blackstar operated at normal speed. Evasive maneuvers, Kim ordered. Hana's enhanced reflexes, connected to the ship's AI through the neural interface, made the Blackstar dance through space in patterns that seemed to break the laws of physics. The ship appeared in multiple locations at once, phased between dimensions, and twisted through angles that shouldn't have existed. Impossible, Kethavor screamed as every weapon in his fleet fired harmlessly at empty space. Your turn, Kim said quietly. The quantum disruption cannons fired. Each beam struck an alien ship and began to spread, breaking apart the bonds that held matter together. Ship after ship simply stopped existing as the weapons tore holes in reality itself. Area, take control of their computer systems, Kim ordered. With pleasure, Captain. The artificial intelligence reached out through space and invaded the networks of every enemy ship at once. Within seconds, she had complete control of their weapons, shields, and navigation systems. Alien ship commanders watched in horror as their own vessels turned their guns on each other. Shields failed at exactly the wrong moments. Navigation systems sent ships crashing into their allies. What's happening to my fleet? Kethavor demanded. Kim activated the ship's external speakers so that every alien in the system could hear him. You wanted to destroy Earth. You wanted to kill every human child in the galaxy. Now you're going to learn why that was a mistake. The temporal weapons fired next. Instead of destroying matter, they destroyed time itself. Alien ships aged thousands of years in seconds. Their hulls rusted and cracked. Their crews grew old and died as centuries passed in moments. 50 ships destroyed, Lee reported. 108 remaining. Accelerate the attack, Kim said. I want this finished quickly. The Blackstar moved through the enemy fleet like a force of nature. Every weapon it fired erased another alien ship from existence. The quantum cannons, temporal beams, and dimensional disruptors worked together to tear apart the largest military force the galaxy had ever seen. 75 ships destroyed, Lee announced. 83 remaining. Kim watched Supreme War Master Kethavor's flagship on his screen. The massive alien was screaming orders that his computers ignored, trying to fire weapons that Area controlled, attempting to escape with engines that no longer obeyed him. 90 ships destroyed, 68 remaining. The battle was no longer a fight. It was an execution. The aliens couldn't hit the human ship, couldn't run from it, couldn't even control their own vessels. They could only watch as their fleet was systematically destroyed by technology they couldn't understand. 120 ships destroyed, 38 remaining. Kim opened a communication channel to the surviving alien vessels. Attention all hegemony ships. Your Supreme War Master planned to commit genocide against the human species. Watch what happens to leaders who threaten Earth's children. He activated every weapon on the Blackstar at once and aimed them all at the Dominion's wrath. Wait, Kethavor's voice came over the communication channel. I surrender. I will order all hegemony forces to withdraw from human space. Please do not destroy my ship. Kim's voice was as cold as the space between stars. Did you offer to negotiate when you planned to destroy Earth? Did you show mercy when you decided to kill human children? Please, I was wrong. Humanity is clearly the superior species. We acknowledge your dominance. Kim looked around at his crew. Their faces showed no mercy for the creature who had wanted to murder their entire species. "You should have thought about that before you threatened our home," Kim said. The quantum disruption cannons fired together.